tonight we really want to overall do kind of a little bit more of an upbeat show. And so picked some topics tonight that were, just collecting based and fun topics. And I thought that this one was actually pretty good because this is something we've never, ever discussed, I don't think, ever on the channel. So topic number one, and I definitely want to hear how the live chat also chimes in on this. But I thought topic number one would be fun to talk about Marvel versus DC. Who has the better statues over the last 2 years? Of course, me being the Batman statue collector, I talk a lot about Batman. Some we do highlight some pieces that are Marvel based here on the channel. But there's been a lot of really great ones, not only from Sideshow. I'm thinking like great stuff from Queen Studios, a lot of great Iron Man pieces from them. XM is always, or at least they were, coming out with really great pieces. We had Legendary Beast, obviously, with their great lineup of third scales, like Jeff has with his Hulk, and some really, really great pieces. So, like, where do you guys weigh in right now? Do you feel like who wins the battle over the last couple years? And we can go, we don't have to narrow it down to just Sideshow. We could expand out to everybody, but I don't know. To me, I feel like there's been probably more Marvel than DC, maybe.
From Sideshow for sure. I think I'm remembering my numbers correctly, but I went through and looked at all of Sideshow's releases for 2024, and they had only released 5 DC premium formats, and they had released 13 Marvel.
Wow.
It was a big difference. I was really surprised.
Do you think that's because Marvel is selling better still?
It must be. I mean, I don't know why else they would make that kind of decision.
Jojo Valdez says Marvel has the best statues and characters, hands down. I don't know if I agree with that.
They do, I find they do similar things with Marvel that they do with our DC, Batman characters, and that is they beat Wolverine to death, just like they beat Batman to death.
Yep.
It's Wolverine, it's Iron Man. I mean, look, we got our third Rogue in not that many years. I mean, they do the same thing, the same characters sell. So it's not like you see off the wall. And again, it's the same as DC when they finally make a Beast, albeit not a very well received one, but make a Beast. It's like a miracle. Wow, they made one of the, I don't want to call him a second tier character, but you know what I mean. He's not on the A list, so to speak.
Like when they did Nightcrawler, that was another one that they.
Yeah. Exactly. So I don't feel like it's that different, to be honest. But
what about you, Billy? Who wins the war here?
Well, my room is pretty much split Marvel DC. You know? I've always said that DC, Batman and Superman can't be touched. That they're on a different level, right? And then after those two, I guess, Joker, probably the most famous villain ever, right?
I would say.
So you have those three, and then where does it go? Flash, Aquaman, Green Lantern, right? It kind of but it kind of falls off, and I think Marvel has the leg up because the movies have been so good and the DC movies have not. Yeah, okay?
Agreed.
So, but if you look at Marvel, let's look at the whole universe, right? Spider-Man is up there with, Batman, Superman. He's on that level, right? And then you go, there's so many different ways you can go. You can go the Avengers. You can go the X-Men. I mean, there's X-Men for days, not just the core X-Men. The Archangel just came out to, all this fanfare, right? Mm-hmm. Then you can go to the Fantastic Four universe. You got, Venom and his universe, Carnage and all that, right? Then you got, the street level guys like the Punisher and Daredevil and that whole world, the Defenders. There's so many characters. They go so many different ways. I think what separates now talking about statues, there's been more 1/3 DC statues that have actually come straight off comic covers, like Tech 1000, like Superman Hush. We all know where that statue's from, straight from the artist, right? Straight from the art. Now, finally, with the LBS stuff, we're getting some 1/3 Marvel love. But and over the last couple of years, I have every LBS piece that's come out, and Jeff knows the Hulk, The Thor is an underrated piece. That piece is so good. You can display the base without the statue if you're a big Thor fan,
That's true.
put it on a rotating table. That
Mhm.
base is so good. You know, we talk about storytelling bases. This is the ultimate storytelling base. You know, and I just got the Iron Man in. That is a phenomenal piece. So, you know, I would say overall, because I feel the Marvel characters are better across the board, you know. Um, and Batman's rogues are awesome, but so Spider-Man's rogues, you know.
Mhm.
So I would say I like the statues from DC that are, Fabox Batman, Jim Lee Superman, Fabox Penguin. I know the artist. I know where that statue came from, as opposed to like an artist's interpretation of it, But I would say over the past couple of years, though, I would probably go with Marvel and the LBS stuff because it's new, yeah, and we haven't seen him in 1/3. But if you've seen Hulk in person, if you've seen the Magneto in person, if you got the one with all the, stuff around it, it's an amazing. They've been amazing.
I think that's my favorite one. I love that one.
Yeah.
Cece brought up the fact about, possibly like pricing, with, if it has to do with the Marvel license or things like that. Obviously Marvel is Disney now. So that might be a good point. Maybe they are required to make more,
Right.
to
It could be.
overshoot that cost. And that's a really good point. I feel like DC, I don't know, like lately, I feel like they're giving anybody the DC license. Which then leads to oversaturation of characters. Again, I think that's been part of the problem too. Do you feel like Marvel characters in general have a wider appeal because they're maybe brighter colors? They're maybe a little bit more family friendly overall. You know what I mean?
I think, here's my opinion on that topic. There's so many Marvel characters. I mean, you could go down like, you got the core X-Men, then you got all these others. You got just so many. I think because of that, where somebody might not relate to, let's just say Wolverine or whatever, but then they find this one character that they do relate to. They have more characters. Where at DC, we got the core, we got Batman, Superman, type thing like that.
Yep.
Where Marvel, there's so many characters, so many options that I think everybody can find a character that they relate to / like, type thing.
I just think of look at the movies like Joker 2. Kids aren't going to go see that.
Nope.
They're not going to buy a Joker 2 statue, but they might go to Disney and ride Guardians of the Galaxy and want a Groot statue.
Adults won't buy a Joker 2 statue.
Well, right. But I just feel like sometimes there's a little bit of a wider appeal to some of those Marvel characters just because I don't know. I just feel like they're maybe a little bit more universally accepted by all ages, which gets people into collecting. You not just kids with toys, but then the young collector, young adult collector, and then the old fogies like us. That spend our money on painted rock. But I just do wonder about if that's why sometimes maybe Marvel might do a little bit better sometimes just because of the nature of their characters versus
Chris,
a bunch of painted up serial killers and clowns and penguin with umbrellas. It's just I do wonder that sometimes.
That is probably true. When you have Disney pushing you, it is, and a lot of it is the movies. Like the first superhero movies my kids ever watched was like Man and all this other stuff. And, even the Batman, which is a great movie for us. I took the kids to see it. They fell asleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Eric? Where do you weigh in?
I think Billy said it perfect. Everything he said, I was basically wanting to say the same exact thing. I think, like he said, when it comes to DC, you think about like Batman, Superman, Justice League, but when it comes to Marvel, there's just so many bigger teams. I think you have like Spider-Man. There's more characters. You have the whole Avengers team. You have Fantastic Four. There's just so much more going on with Marvel. As far as statue wise, though, I got to say Batman had it pretty good. I mean, when it came to like, it also comes down to scale. I mean, what scale are we talking about? Because if you look at scale, I mean, like Prime 1 was running the game for 1/3, and it was just all like Batman pieces for the most part. You know, nobody had the license for Marvel until now doing like 1/3 Marvel. So it also comes down to scale. So I think it, but I mean, if I got to say overall, Marvel definitely probably has the, the most popular when it comes to, the most abundance of statues overall. Without doubt.
People are bringing up points about, like obviously Disney has a major push with their theme parks and characters. DC has a lot smaller profile because they're only at Six Flags.
I left a comment too. It failed to post for some reason. I don't know why.
They're usually not very good either. I mean, the theming's not very good at Six Flags compared, to Universal or somebody like that puts a lot more money into them.
I don't know. Six Flags is pretty fun.
It's fun, but it's just like, you know what I mean? Like the theming is just, it's so dumbed down compared to the bigger parks. A lot of people are saying that they're more grounded. They're more family oriented. They're more like groups, teams. So people are bringing up some really good points. I think across the board about Marvel.
DC has a lot of teams too. They just haven't been done really well. I mean, they've got the Doom Patrol. They've got the Legion of Superheroes. You've got Justice League, and then you've got Justice League Europe, and then you've got Justice League Unlimited. I mean, there are a lot of teams that maybe haven't been portrayed very well in other media.
I agree with that.
Yep.
Brad wants to know if there's a drone in Ukraine. Actually, his daughter's playing a little Arkham behind you.
Arkham City. She's trying to beat up Joker, and she keeps losing.
I love it. Justin says, I think DC, namely Batman, is what you see selling the most in the larger scales, but much more limited in characters that you see released. Marvel has more team heroes, has single heroes. So yeah, I think all of those are really, really valid points. I'm sorry, I missed a super chat. That's a little off topic. What is the worst statue company over the last 2 years? Oh, that's a question.
XM.
Are they still a company?
Yeah, I would say XM right now, just because there's just so much in the air about what's going on with them. Or I could say anybody that's already gone out of business. I guess that's probably the worst one.
That's what I was trying to think of.
That's the bad thing is we've talked about that the last couple of years about we kind of saw the writing on the wall for some of these companies that maybe have overextended themselves and charged too much and whatever. We hate to see it. We hate to see what's happening with XM. And again, hopefully they're able to right the ship. I did see, I don't know. Let me add the overlay here. This is, I thought this one was pretty funny. I don't know if you guys saw it.
I did.
Yeah.
So that pre-order went up. God, what?
It's like
22
2 years ago.
People are waiting to receive their shipping notice, and the thing hasn't even been made yet.
Yep.
Yeah, they're just saying it's just now in the factory being made. It's like, oh my god.
Dan, do you still have that on order?
No, I canceled it.
Okay.
I think everybody freaking did.
Yeah.
I don't know who they're making this for.
That said, if Todd had these in stock in his warehouse, I'd buy it today.
I would buy one from Todd.
Yep.
I would.
Yeah, if he gets some in, I'll buy one.
I'll buy one.
They'll probably make 3 at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah, no
I don't know. It's just a shame because again they put out really great work, but
It's like
everybody's expecting me to say J&D, of course.
They put out stuff.
J&D, as far as I can tell, is doing very well.
They're doing very well.
And they put out stuff.
they
So,
sell
yeah.
out every time they release something.
Yeah.
This Wayne guy is on to something. There you go. That's right. Felipe over here, I tell you. Yeah.
Game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When we do your new Only Dan's theme, we can do a whole separate wing.
You do not have to bring that back.
Oh yeah, we got to bring back a little bit of at least once a year. We have to bring back Only Dan's.
Oh, where's Brad? I'm sure Brad's going to be commenting anything.
Oh yeah, Brad, bring it on. That's right, absolutely. Darth Red says I haven't paid off with Todd for over a year now, so there you go. But yeah, it's great. It's part of the White Knight story, and You know, we're big Sean Murphy fans, so
Yep.
um,
Oh, I would love it. I would
Yeah.
love if they actually come out with it.
and again, I have that piece in hand for a little bit, the prototype, and it looked great. I loved it. So, well, anyway, so where did we settle? Did we feel like Marvel won the year the last couple of years, or do we feel like I don't know?
I think there's something to be said that being owned by Disney as opposed to being owned by Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers is having its problems, so it's logical that companies would be putting out more Marvel stuff right now.
So obviously, with that said, the big holy hope out there for Warner Brothers is this Superman film that's coming out soon. We saw some trailers. We saw it during the AFC Championship game. We saw the new, like the weird forced perspective face that he had to respond and say it's not CGI. It's just the way the camera's distorted because people complained about it. Will this flip it for Warner Brothers? Will it make it so magically now everybody's going to want to buy DC statues again?
No.
No.
People are looking for any reason to not like this movie. You know, that was like a 15-second clip that just dropped the other day.
Yep.
And it got picked apart every which way.
Yep.
I was a little guilty of it too. You know, I was looking at it. I'm like, I don't know if I texted to Eric or who got it, but I said, I just find it like his hair is a mess. And my wife said the same thing. She said Christopher Reeve's hair never moved. You know, just look. I know he's flying 1,000,000 miles an hour, and his hair should be moving, I guess. But it just
for me, it was the eyes.
Yeah,
I was watching the trailer during that game, and I'm like,
yeah.
I was like, before I was even on the internet, I didn't even know everybody else noticed it. I'm like, what is going on with his face? His eyes look weird, like they just look like they were googly. And then the next like hour or two, whatever, I go on Facebook and like everybody's commenting about it. I'm like, oh, I guess I wasn't the only one that thought that too.
Yeah.
Well, I'm surprised they didn't maybe think that would be the reaction.
I like somebody made a meme or whatever you want to call him, and he's shooting lasers, and one laser's going this way, one laser's going that way.
That's good. That's good.
This is the photo here. You see the bottom. Like here's some of the classic Superman flying. Obviously, we don't have Chris Reeve here, but the bottom one is the one that everybody is kind of talking about. Like, what is going on here? I don't know if I could find the photo with the googly eyes, but
it's the bottom one. But yeah, it's a little. You can really see it.
I got to be honest. I didn't really have a problem with it.
I didn't either.
Didn't even occur to me watching it.
Me neither. Until you guys brought it up, I didn't even notice.
I think it looks fine.
I think Warner Brothers' reaction will be as long as it's getting millions and millions and millions of views.
I mean, look at his eye though.
I think they're happy.
Yeah, I don't think one little clip from a trailer is going to make or break the film. I think it'll be really good.
Yeah.
I think it's going to have a lot of heart. I think it's going to, tug on the heartstrings and bring back all the feels for Superman. At least that's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping it does really well. Again, the more fantastical DC is not my thing. I like the more grounded in reality of, I've got a Gotham City, but I hope it does well. I hope it's a fun film.
Well, I thought Man of Steel was very grounded.
Yeah,
I did too.
I did too, but people love to trash the Snyder verse, or you either love it or hate it or whatever. But
the Snyderverse has got some hardcore fans though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, it probably doesn't help this new movie that Prime One just dropped a new Superman from the Snyderverse.
I found that out today because I did my little mini reaction today of the Prime One Superman, which we're going to look at. And in the video, I kind of basically say like, was anybody really wanting this one? Like, people are kind of over Zack Snyder Supermans. I feel like we've just gotten a lot. And I had quite a few comments like, what are you talking about? Well, people aren't over this character yet. And blah, 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 blah. I love Zack Snyder. Those fans are hardcore.
He's got hardcore fans, not even with the DC stuff. It goes to like Sin City and The Watchmen and that just love 300, that just love his movies, the way his style of movie, they just love it, And then there is a DC contingent of of fans too that they never wanted to see Henry gone, and they like Ben Affleck, and they grew up with that. I mean, when was Man of Steel? 2013 or something like that. So it's been a while for that for that franchise, and you know they like Nightmare Batman, which is one of the most popular Batmans for that group. You know, and they're the ones that are attacking the new clips. They're the ones that don't want to give this new film a chance or these actors a chance. You know, so yeah.
Brad says they should do a Conclave movie about picking a new Superman.
That's a good movie, by the way.
That's a great movie.
I like that movie a lot.
What is it?
It's heavy. Conclave.
I know what is it though. I don't know anything about it.
Picking a new pope after the pope dies.
Right.
Oh, is it got Voldemort in it?
Yeah. And
that does look good.
He's amazing.
Ray Fiennes.
Ray Fiennes, thank you.
Awesome. Yeah.
What's that on? Netflix?
Peacock or
Shoot.
I don't know. It is streaming now, but I can't remember where. It might
Okay.
be on Max. I'm not sure.
Very good. It's kind of heavy,
Yeah.
but it's really, really, really well acted.
It's
cool.
It's well written. It's well
Yeah.
acted. The
Yeah.
cinematography is great. The soundtrack is awesome. It's really good.
That's great. I'll have to check it out. Justin says, anybody else worried about the Flash director directing Batman, the Brave and the Bold?
I think someone just commented, do you trust James Gunn? And that's like another thing. Like if you didn't like his style of movie, if you didn't like, you know, the silliness of Guardians of the Galaxy, you know, if you don't like Peacemaker, I'm not saying he's going to do Superman this way.
Suicide Squad?
Yeah, that movie, if you don't like that, his kind of style of movie, that it also makes you worried about him being in charge of all this stuff going forward, you know, which is why like fans like us who like the grounded Batman stuff and like the Pattinson verse don't want him anywhere near it. You know, it's a Matt Reeves thing. Leave it alone. Don't go near it. We don't want to see Pattinson in that universe. Keep it separate, you know? So there's a lot that's I hope the movie's good. I'm gonna go see it, but there's a lot that's kind of like going against it.
It seems like though he's staying very classic to me as far as the characters and costumes
with the soundtrack, you know. That's the first thing I recognized. I was like, hold on,
that was smart.
Music.
That was good.
Music.
Yeah,
so
that one was
to
smart.
me, I think with respect, I think if you said, hey Matt, you know, bet something, you know, I think it's going to be a good movie. You know.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm definitely going to see it. I mean, you know, Zack Snyder didn't use the classic stuff either, like, you know, but he used Hans Zimmer, you know, who was really good. So, I mean, the music from Man of Steel was awesome too. So,
Well, it will be interesting to see with these new films coming out, and you know, if there is a little bit more success, if DC will start doing better in terms of statues. Obviously, there's always going to be hardcore Batman statue collectors out there that will buy up any of it, including yours truly. But you know, I think that Marvel just has a bigger universal appeal right now. I think they also are still riding the coattails of all their early success. Their recent movies have not been that great. Obviously, Wolverine, Deadpool did really well, but that's kind of the exception. So I'm hoping that once the Fantastic Fours and some of those things start doing well for Disney, that, you know, we'll see, you know, a lot of really cool statues coming out for those companies. But I guess we'll just have to kind of wait and see how we end up. But really, again, the only people that win are us collectors, because there's just so much, you know, great stuff that's coming out from the companies. So yeah, anything else you guys want to say about the topic?
One more thing about Sideshow. I said that they did 5 DC pre-orders in 2024. They did 6 Sideshow Originals.
Wow. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
That's really cool, actually, because their original stuff's been really great.
It's fantastic.
And I think people have really responded to it. I think maybe you feel like it's just because it's not the same old thing. Like it's not just another Batman, it's something new.
It's that, and also I think, like you said, I think the quality is one step up. They're really, I think, giving their all for these pieces.
Yeah, I think so too. And they don't have to worry about the licensing part of it. You know, it's like they can create whatever they want to create without being beholden to
they can
somebody
get them
else.
out. They can get out faster, and they can get them out cheaper. So you've got like Vampire's Lust, 2 characters, and it's less than $700.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
and
isn't
it
that
looks
awesome?
like a great statue.
Yeah. I love what they've been doing with those things. So again, much continued success. And, again, maybe people do get burned out on the same old with Marvel and DC. It's like we see the same characters, the same poses, the same this, the same that. But, or you can be dumb like me and go back and buy a over 10-year-old piece right here. Added her back to the collection. So, it is what it is.
Hey, I'm as much to blame as anybody. I've got 3 Batman pieces on pre-order and 3 Superman pieces.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Absolutely. Hey guys, I have partnered up with Red Wolf Collectibles, maker of incredible comic book display options, including this outstanding, heavy-duty, and well-made slab stand featuring an anti-slip pad and all the accessories needed to display your most prized slab comic books, just like this one here in my collection. And now they even have interchangeable 3D design plates that feature really strong magnets that let you easily swap out logos to match your comic books, slabs, or whatever superhero you want to feature in your display in an absolutely incredible way. And these are just some of the plates available for purchase from DC, Marvel, and much, much more. I mean, look at all of the options here. You can even have your own custom logo made. And they also offer magnetized comic book frames. You simply remove the front, place your comic book inside, and place the magnetized cover back on. It's that simple, yet looks absolutely amazing, and even features a built-in hook so you can display it on the wall. I mean, look how awesome this looks. Now, if you don't have a slab, you can also purchase their protective comic book cases, which feature high-quality metal corners and screws. And you can also pair this up with the display stands to give it that amazing slab look. Now, all of these are absolutely incredible, and make sure you use code STATUE at checkout for a discount at redwolfcollectibles.com. I'm so happy to be partnering with them because their products are absolutely amazing. Hey guys, thank you so very much for watching today, and if you're new here, please hit the subscribe button right here on the screen and check out these 2 awesome videos. I think you're going to love them. And also please join us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. I would love to have you join in all the fun. Thank you guys so very much for watching. See you in the Batcave.